Hello beautiful people, welcome to my channel, Healing and Awakening with 𝐡𝐮. And in this episode I'm gonna talk about why is it okay not to be okay. I'm sure we can all relate to that. So I would like to start with that definitely in the West that there is this kind of cultural conditioning to always pretend that you are happy and everything is going well for you and everything is all right. Especially we can see this in social media now, and this led really to kind of like a split in personality when we are conditioned from a very early age that it is okay to be happy and successful and confident and intelligent and educated and curious and adventurous, so on and so forth. But it is absolutely not okay to feel lost, be depressed, to cry, to be angry or frustrated, and so on and so forth. So most of us, or most of you who are listening, probably come from this type of environment when you experience this pressure that you just have to be okay and perfectly fine and happy at all times. At the same time, there is this kind of stigma or shaming on people who are not okay, and there is this idea that there is something seriously wrong with them and they are sick or crazy or whatever, you know, people think. And so a lot of people who don't feel okay, they don't acknowledge it, or they don't ask for help because there is this stigma and there is this fear of judgment, you know, at the same time if you're not feeling okay. So the main problem with this attitude, and I think that really could be seen clearly nowadays in all over the world, that we are denying part of the human experience. Okay, so we talked about how we are all energy and everything is made up of energy, and energy is always moves and flows and changes and transforms. You can look at nature just to get a very basic idea of birth, death and rebirth, you know, through the seasons. And this is how energy moves, you know, it gets created, so you can say that there is a birth that is sustained, you know, expressed in a form, and then it so-called dies and dissolves and gets recreated in another shape and form in some way. So this is how things work. So there is always a birth and the death part of the process, which is kind of like an integration and a dissolution. And this is like just an energetics that is like present, you know, underneath everything. So understanding this cycle of birth, death and rebirth, and this up and down, probably most of you are familiar with calling it just being up and down in life, but basically it's just a circle of life. Once you understand that this is universal law, that this is something that you cannot opt out of, then you can see how being in denial of part of this cycle, which is the death part, is really not healthy, but it's also not possible. So you can see really in society how, especially in the West, we are in this denial and rejection of this death part, everything that is death and decay and aging and change. We don't want to do that, you know, just, you know, get all the surgery and pretend that you're 20, never age, never change, never, you know, just stick to, you know, your highest, best expression that you can achieve. And yeah, what is the consequence is that, you know, the consequence of this type of denial of just, you know, basic natural law is always like a type of breakdown, you know, and that can be seen in, you know, if you look around, I'm sure maybe you went through experiences like this, or you know somebody, because, you know, what happens when you are in this denial, then you are not able, you know, to deal with the situation or to ask for help or to support yourself. And what will happen, sorry about the noise, it will just get progressively worse until you will feel so overwhelmed that you will come to a state of breakdown. So people are afraid to have a hard time to experience discomfort because of just natural instinct and also just cultural conditioning and programming. And they are also afraid to ask for help when they are not feeling okay, and they might need some help and support because of the stigma and the judgment that is still present, you know, in most places and societies. And also just most of the people are not familiar how to be in discomfort and be okay with it, or how to hold space for other people who are going through something difficult. And I'm gonna do another video about holding space. Okay, so here are some tips how you can help yourself to navigate this state of not being okay, and what can be helpful for you, or sharing with others, you know, if your friends or family going through a hard time. All right, so the first and most important part and step is acceptance, is accepting where you are, you know. It's just really, can you be okay of not being okay? Can you be okay? Can you still 100% love and accept yourself even if you feel sad or depressed or lost or confused or whatever you are feeling? So can you be okay with that in that moment and just accept that? Because until you are in denial, you have no way of moving forward and find any kind of resolution or release from that. So acceptance is crucial, and just saying to yourself that it's okay what I'm feeling, where I am right now, and I can love and accept myself in this moment with everything who I am. And once you come to this acceptance, you know, you will feel relieved, and you will feel a space opening in you, and you will realize that you are not that experience, that you are not that discomfort, that you are just feeling that discomfort, but you are bigger than that. And maybe you can hold space for that for yourself. So see if you can do that. That can be very helpful, and a lot of times this is what people experience when they go into this deeper space of acceptance. Number 2, express it. So once you accept it where you are, and you get more, you know, just okay with not being okay, express it to somebody who you trust. Obviously not broadcast it necessarily on social media, but maybe you have a trusted friend or relative or somebody close to you who is understanding and supportive. So take a leap of faith and share with this person how are you really feeling. Most of the time people find, you know, when they share their experience and they become really authentic and vulnerable, then, you know, they got like just a very welcoming response, and that oftentimes opens the other person as well to be more open and vulnerable and to share deeper and to connect deeper. So obviously you have to discern who are the people who you can do this with, because not everybody necessarily will have this response. But just to expressing how you feel even to one person who you trust, it can just, you know, take you to a huge place of relief, and feeling that the weight has been lifted from your heart, feeling that you are not alone, feeling that you are heard, you are understood, that you are accepted and loved even though you feel however you feel. So this can be just very uplifting and beneficial if you find yourself in a situation like that. And third but not least, ask for help. So if you are in a deep dark moment and you do not feel, you know, that you can handle it yourself, or you can hold space for yourself, you don't have to do it alone. Always help and support is always available for you, always around you. So just call in that support, call in those people, places, beings, and be open to receive this help and ask for this help, because help is always there, but you need to ask for it and you need to be able to receive it. So yeah, I hope that this helped to feel okay a little bit more with not being okay. And I love you, and have a magical, beautiful day. Namaste.